Now, how has it affected your personal life? I mean, this is almost seems like it's very difficult to live with this burden of truth. I mean, for a lot of the military witnesses that I've interviewed, it's a burden that they carry. How does this affect your personal life, your family, the people around you, your neighborhood, and so forth?
Yeah, it has. It has affected my personal life. I think about this constantly. Think about other ways of coming forward and talking about it. But it's a commitment I've made.
And you need support?
And I need support. I've had support from my beautiful wife and others, and people like you, Paula, I must add, have been a constant supporter. So I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone, and I feel responsible, since I have some information that the public needs to know about. That's what keeps me going.
Well, I can see that. And, the more I think about how important this is to future generations and how important this is to the young people. And I see a lot of conferences that have older people coming, and usually a certain age people attending, but we don't have too many young people. We don't have too many people below the age of 30. And I'm wondering what's happening here. Do you have any suggestions how to engage the young people in this situation? Do you have any advice for the young people of planet Earth, the ones that are going to carry this on?
Yeah. I was a math teacher for about 8 years, and at every opportunity I told my story to my students.
Oh, really?
I did. And there was no snickering there. There was no laughter. They certainly believe in this possibility. So young people, of course, have problems growing up and figuring out their futures, so they have to somehow integrate this idea that there is extraterrestrial life, and we have been visited, into their lives, and I think it will happen. So yes, I would ask the young people to look into this and consider it, research it.
And not just internet research, because there's a lot of disinformation out there with internet, because it's a quick and dirty way to get information in this society. We were talking about this yesterday. There needs to be reading done, reading of books, people like you, people like, Dr. Edgar Mitchell, Apollo 14 astronaut that's written a book. There's Cooper, Gordon Cooper wrote Leap of Faith, where he talked about actually seeing a landing while he was a pilot, filming it and then giving the film to the military, and he never was able to see it again. But Gordon Cooper did come forth also. Astronaut Gordon Cooper. These are not crazy people. These are people that are leaving behind an incredible legacy. And so, this reading and educating, would you consider that a way of
Absolutely.
Would you even include this in the schools?
I think we have to take, first things first, we need the government to acknowledge this fact. I think there will probably be a lot of opposition if we try to include this as a history lesson in schools.
But it is history, isn't it?
It is history. As a matter of fact, this just brought something to mind. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the U.S. Air Force Academy taught in one of their classes something about the history of UFO sightings. So this is not. They took it seriously. They are taking it seriously. So
yeah,
yes,
Project Blue Book.
Let's teach it in schools.
Yeah, Project Blue Book was begun for that reason.
Right.
Project Blue Book ended with, again, we were doing the full circle with the Condon Committee report, which was disclosed here in Boulder, Colorado. My idea would have been to have the University of Colorado open this up again, which would have been interesting if we would have had all the witness testimony to undo that famous Condon Committee report.
I'd like to mention my website, spiralgalaxy.org. On there, I have written an article about the UFO cover-up, in particular how the Condon Committee failed to investigate the Echo and Oscar flight shutdowns, and I've got a detailed analysis of that in there if anybody's interested.
If we want to go one step further, this is really what we call the nitty-gritty of the research. You said we could have won this in a court of law. We have so much evidence. This is just military evidence. Let's hypothesize now and go one step further with the people that say that they have had contact, and with people who say they have had sightings, and with people that say that their life has been transformed with the sightings and with the contact. With that hypothesis, do you think that's possible?
I'm sorry.
Do you think it's possible the people have had contact and that this has gone besides just sightings and interference with the military?
Absolutely.
Do you think that the witness testimony is also very credible?
Yes. This phenomenon has different facets to it. Of course, you're talking about contactees, abductions, and that sort of
yeah,
thing.
the whole thing. They mentioned even cattle mutilations yesterday. There's crop circles. I call it a minestrone. It's just got everything in there. But it's.
I've come to the point where I don't discount any of those stories because, again, lots of credible witnesses have come forward and talked about these things, and certainly this ought to be looked into further. Absolutely.
Before this incident at Malmstrom Air Force Base, were you thinking about UFOs? Was there anything in your background in your childhood that even had you looking at this topic? And how did you change your way of thinking after this happened?
No, I was not thinking about UFOs at all. In fact, I got two phone calls that evening. First phone call, they talked about flying objects, and I even laughed about UFOs. And no, I had not taken this subject seriously at all. I was a career officer, and I just kind of laughed at the talk of UFOs anytime. But of course, after this incident occurred, I took it much more seriously, and it stayed with me. You know, after I was told not to talk about it, I couldn't put it out of my mind, and I couldn't wait for the day when I could talk about it. So when I did see that paragraph in Above Top Secret, I really got excited about that because it gave me the opportunity to talk about what had happened.
And it gave you an intellectual curiosity also.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I've had that ever since.
Okay. One curiosity, just recently, in fact, I was watching it on NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams, that 50 nuclear missiles had been shut down at a base in Wyoming. Do you want to talk about that? Is that possible? All 50?
Yeah, this is very intriguing. Francis C. Warren Air Force Base has Minuteman III missiles. Of course, my incident, we had Minuteman I missiles, so this is a third generation of the Minuteman. And yet they talk about, apparently, if we can believe what we've read in this article, and sorry, the magazine was Atlantic Monthly, I believe, that 50 missiles went down as a result of some minor glitch in one of the computers. It sounds fantastic to me. Our systems were very reliable in 1967. Missiles rarely went down for any reason. I was there for 3 years as a launch officer.
Did they say that this was a 1950s type technology?
I think that's what the article said. And why would they be using 1950s technology in 2010? It doesn't make any sense.
And
so
also,
here's another story where the Air Force needs to explain to the public, first of all, why did they release this information in the first place? Or they want the public to follow the reliability of our missiles in some way, especially within a month of our press conference.
Yeah, you had the theory that maybe this was done to show that missiles can go down and it's just normal when they go down all the time.
It's not normal, and it's frightening if we haven't got more control over our missiles.
And one is not hinged on the other, right? I mean,
no,
one goes down, all 50, all 49 don't go down.
These are not Christmas tree lights where if one goes out, the whole string goes out. These are independent systems,
Okay.
and it should not affect 50 missiles.
And it's important that the general public know this, that they are not hinged one upon the other. So
Right.
the announcement that, and it's very curious that we'd ever announce that's a national security breach right there. The 50 would go down is very interesting. And they're probably wondering how many of us caught that. Well, you know, I think we could end the conversation with that, saying that the credibility of the witness is what we're looking for, and these credible witnesses have no reason to fantasize or manufacture these stories. It's just part of our changing nature on planet Earth, because maybe we're getting ready for some kind of quote-unquote event, because there's all kinds of different acceleration of this phenomena. Do you notice that the media has an acceleration of
I've noticed,
talk about this?
I've noticed that the media is taking this more seriously, more and more. Yes, and as you know, we all know, there have been more incidents, more sightings,
Right.
many things have been going on, and so it seems like there is an acceleration of this phenomenon.
Of this
you know.
phenomena. It's more open.
It is.
Certainly in other countries it's more open, especially in South America. Well, Robert, thank you so much for sitting and gabbing with us in Boulder, Colorado, home of the Condon Committee report, because we've been really honored to have you here, and Naropa Institute was very honored to have you as a speaker. I think it opens up to different possibilities, and that's what we're looking at, opening up our minds. And so thank you for being here, and hopefully people that see this presentation will also do some research.
Thank you, Paul.